meditation by which when we realize the super soul. So Krishna is referring to the previous 10 and 11. And he's saying here, so if we cannot practice karma yoga, then engage oneself, we should engage ourselves in the cultivation of knowledge. At least by cultivating knowledge is better than meditation. And better than meditation is enunciation of the fruit of action. For by such meditation, one can attain peace of mind. Purport. As mentioned in the previous verses, there are two kinds of devotional service. The way of regulative principles and a way of full attachment in love to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those are the two ways. The way of regulative principles, karma, working with our senses and giving the result of that to Krishna. It could be 𝐒𝐴𝐵𝐾𝐬𝐬, or it can be karma or karmi. Means that we are working with some expectation of results in the mind, not fully dedicated to Krishna. But some results, some connection is there. One has the knowledge, the understanding that working for Krishna is good. But some attachment to enjoy the fruit is there, not completely. That is one way. The other way is a full surrender or full dedication to Krishna. The Prophet said there are two ways. The full attachment in love to the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Bhakti Yoga. For those who are actually not able to follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, it is better to cultivate knowledge. Why? Because by knowledge, one can be able to understand his real position. We discuss, or Krishna explained this in chapter 3 about Gita. Chapter 3, chapter 5. We should do our duty. Not giving up our duty, we should do our duty. Because if we do our duty, because it is recommended in the scripture, we'll get some purification. That purification manifests in our developing knowledge, just like we are keeping the four regulative principles. If we keep the regulative principles, it helps us to develop knowledge, because it's a sacrifice. Most of us, it's a sacrifice. We will develop knowledge. That knowledge will will help us to understand the importance of renunciation. If one is knowledgeable, the proof that one has knowledge is his level of renunciation. So Krishna is recommending, for those who are actually not able to follow the principles of Krishna consciousness, it is better to cultivate knowledge. Because by knowledge, one can be able to understand his real position as a spirit soul. Ignorance will make us understand we are this body. And we will waste our time, not only wasting our time, we will put ourselves by our activities in a situation where we will continue to suffer in this nature. But with knowledge, we will understand that big karma is very dangerous. We should not do big karma. We should do karma, which will take us to akarma. Akarma. Akarma, activities in Krishna consciousness. Knowledge is required to be able to do that. Gradually, knowledge will develop to the point of meditation. So we look at the process of yoga. The process of yoga begins from yama and niyama. Yama and niyama. The things you should do and the things you shouldn't do. That's the beginning. The regulation. Practicing how to regulate the senses. Very, very, very important. That's the beginning of yoga. Yama and niyama. We practice regulating the senses. When the senses are getting regulated, then the next thing is asana. Now we're practicing the sitting posture. How to sit. Pranayama, then there is a breathing exercise. One is making the sacrifice of breathing exercise, regulating the breathing. Pratyahara. We are giving up all unnecessary things, all the unnecessary things that are not helping our progress in the practice. That is Bhakti yoga or whatever form of yoga. It is necessary. Pratyahara. Then dharana. Dharana, one is what the senses becoming stable. The senses become very stable. Dharana. And dhyan. Now there is meditation. A full meditation. That meditation becomes mature in samadhi. So here, knowledge is recommended that we should cultivate knowledge. But then that will help us to come to the point of meditation. Meditating, trying to search for the super soul in the heart. That's meditation. By meditation, one can be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by a gradual process, which we just explained. Gradual process. And not just suddenly when we get there, but by gradual process. They are processes which make one understand that one himself is the Supreme. And that sort of meditation is preferred if one is unable to engage in devotional service. That is the common way people follow. The common way people follow is to practice how to destroy the self. This is not meditation. How to destroy the self. How do we destroy the self? Merging into Krishna without personal existence. Want to merge into Krishna, become one Krishna, become zero. That is meditation for killing the self, which is not possible. It is also ignorance. It is foolishness. But at least one is doing something which is above the mundane. That's why Krishna recommended it. Just like in text 11, there's nothing so wonderful in text 11 that Krishna described before. It's just like ordinary thing. But at least one should do something that will eventually lead one to a higher professional stage of realizing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this kind of meditation is there. And many people follow this. Majority of people follow this. But Papa said that is preferred if one is unable to engage in devotional service. So people who are not fortunate, they will take to this process of meditation. But those who are very, very, very fortunate, they will take to the process of devotional service to Krishna. If one is not able to meditate in such a way, then they are prescribed duties as enjoined in the Vedic literature. For the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras, which we shall find in the last chapter of our Gita. But in all cases, one should give up the result of fruit of labor. This means to employ the result of karma for some good cause. That is the whole idea. The whole idea is to make some sacrifice. That is the whole idea of being a bestial animal. Working without considering what we're doing, without considering where we are going, where it is leading us to. Working an animal, just like an animal, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Krishna is trying to find one way or other to connect us to the process. We can at least do something which will help us to be sanctified. That process is to give up the result of our labor by means of employing the result of our karma for some good cause. Either we give donation to charitable homes, we plant some trees, we can dig wells, supply water for people to drink. We can build the schools for people to learn how to be first-class science gratifier. All these things, people consider them to be wonderful. Wonderful activity. Yes, they are leading us to somewhere. At least we are sacrificing something to help somebody. Accumulation of all these things will help us to come to the stage of having knowledge that we are different from this body. And this difference connects us with the understanding who is the source, who is our source. Why are we here in the first place? Why are we here? This knowledge is required. It is developed through some sort of sacrifice. If we properly given a summary. In summary, to reach the supreme percentage of Godhead, the highest goal, there are two processes. One process is by gradual development, and the other process is direct. Gradual development. The Christian started giving that from text 8. When Christian established the principle, the highest goal in text 8. 𝐤𝐢𝐳 mana datswa 𝐒𝐰𝐵𝐷 𝐒𝐰𝐳𝐝𝐵𝐚. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of God, and engage all your intelligence in me. Those who will live in me always without a doubt. This is the beginning. Krishna just gave the goal. This is just a goal. The stage where one always depend on Krishna in all circumstances, engaging our intelligence and fixing our mind constantly in Krishna. That's the professional stage of life. And one will doubt. For a sincere person will doubt. My mind is so restless and so distracted and so many things to disturb the mind. How will I be able to do this? Then Krishna start to break it down into different components. By this, Krishna is giving us opportunity so that one cannot say, oh, there is no chance for me to be a devotee. No one can say that. Except one who does not want to help himself or herself. Only a person who doesn't want to help himself or help herself will have that kind of excuse. Krishna said, okay, I don't complain. My mind is so restless. How will I be able to do that? Krishna said, okay, my dear Arjuna, or winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti-yoga. In this way, there will not be desire to attain me. Regulative principle, we mentioned before that it develops knowledge. If you follow the principle, you will develop knowledge. The knowledge will help us to desire to attain Krishna. We have the desire. The desire to attain Krishna will come. And I just will still be doubtful. That is also very difficult. Krishna said, if you cannot practice the regulative principle of bhakti, then just try to work for me. Because by working for me, you will come to the professional stage, the preferred stage. The first stage of Bhakti Yoga. We work for Krishna. And we know that by working, we also have a lot of challenges. Maybe we are in a family that will not allow us to do anything for Krishna. Or we have some religious biasness that will make it also very difficult for us to give a result of our sacrifice to our duty to Krishna. This the result of our activities to Krishna. And Krishna said, okay, if, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to add giving up all result of your work and try to be self-situated. And Krishna finally summarizes it here. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. You can speculate. Go ahead speculating. And better than knowledge, however, is meditation. And better than meditation is renunciation of the fruit of action. But by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. So Prabhupada is summarizing two processes. A gradual process, working for Krishna, and the direct process, which is devotional service. Devotional service is a direct process. Devotional service in Krishna consciousness is a direct method. And the other method involves renouncing the fruit of one's activities. It's a direct process. For those who are extremely fortunate, have the opportunity to be fully engaged in Krishna consciousness. Of course, to tell the truth, to come to this level of practicing direct devotional service, we have also passed through all other processes Krishna had recommended here. We have passed through, in the previous life, we have passed through all that. Accumulation of all those practices here, doing this and doing that, and giving charity and cultivating knowledge and doing meditation and practicing all kinds of things. accumulation of all those pious things we're doing will help to bring us to the stage of performing or practicing direct devotional service. Devahuti Devi said that. In the Bhagavatam, Devahuti said that people who have come to the stage of pure devotional service now, we have come from a very bad Babylon structure. We have had such dative background. But now we have become so glorious because of practicing, visiting holy places, taking bath in holy rivers, performing different kinds of jagyas, pujas, all recommended in the scriptures. We have done all those things. And those activities are promoted to the stage where we are now fixed in chanting the holy name of Krishna. Fixed. Now we are fixed in chanting the holy name of Krishna. Therefore, we have become civilized people. Although from a native background, we have become civilized devotees who are fully engaged in direct devotional service to Krishna. Abandoning, renouncing all other processes of renouncing the fruit of activities to Krishna. We have passed through all the stages. Now it is devotional service to Krishna. Then one can come to the stage of knowledge, then to the stage of meditation, then to the stage of understanding the super soul, and then to the stage of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's a gradual process. We have passed through all this. All of us who have come to Krishna classes should know we have passed through all these stages. We explained the other day. Today, or nowadays, or present time, it's difficult for us to understand certain things the scripture describe. Because we are in the age, where things are so degraded, so low. In those days, people are civilized. People are cultured. These activities are prominent. Goodness is prominent. So people can easily understand these things and they follow them easily. But now we're so degraded that we cannot understand these things. So they need to be explained. But we should know that for anyone taken to Krishna consciousness now, we should know that in the past we have passed through all those things. Because Krishna have seen us through all this, he is very, very merciful. And he has given us a promotion to a stage of pure Krishna consciousness for the Supreme Personality of God. One may take either the step-by-step process or the direct path. The direct process is not possible for everyone. Therefore, the indirect process is also good. Everything has a beginning, and we have to begin from the beginning. Begin from the beginning. The beginning is very, very important. So we begin gradually. We come to this direct process. And Papa said the direct process is not possible for everyone. Indirect process is more practical for those of us who are more conditioned, especially in Kali Yuga, indirect process is more. We can easily identify that. And we can identify with that easily. But the direct way is not possible for everyone. But the indirect process is also good because a Christian wants us to get connected with him by all means. By all means. It is, however, to be understood that the indirect process is not recommended for Arjuna. That is true. This is not recommended for Arjuna. Why? Arjuna has already passed through this stage. Because he is already at the stage of loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Arjuna has passed through this stage. He's no more on the elementary platform. He's not on the beginning platform. Arjuna is on the topmost platform now. So direct devotional service is possible for him. It is possible for him. It is for others who are not at this stage. For them, a gradual process of renunciation, knowledge, meditation, and realization of the Super Soul and Brahman should be followed. Yes. Everybody has opportunity. Everybody has opportunity to be connected with Krishna. So he has given so many processes here. So many processes. Gradual process of renunciation. Well, give some percentage of our activities to Krishna. It will help us to develop knowledge. And from knowledge, we can come to the state of meditation. When we meditate, we come to realize the Super Soul above the Brahman, and then we get to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But as far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, it is the direct method that is stressed. Direct method. Then why Krishna is recommending others? If Bhagavad Gita is recommending the direct process, why is he taking the trouble of explaining all these details? Why can't he just leave it in devotional service? If you're not devotional service, you're finished. Don't waste your time. Why he has to take the trouble of giving all these details, even up to the recommendation of ordinary thing? Because Christians want everybody to have access. And as we mentioned before, if these processes are not there, where will we start from? Because to come to the direct process of pure devotional service to Krishna, as Prabhupada already mentioned here, it's not possible for everyone. Therefore, others have to follow the gradual process. But for Arjuna, the direct process is recommended because of his position. Everyone is advised to take to the direct method and surrender unto the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna. That is the conclusion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, in the purport is mentioned that Arjuna his position is very elevated. For him, the direct process of devotional service is natural for him. Now, when we look in our society, we have different types of devotees who are different stages. So how we can determine for whom we have to give the indirect process and direct process for whom? Is it correct to have this sort of vision?
Yes, we have to engage people according to our nature. Yes. We have to engage people according to nature. We should see that. That is the idea of having Bhakti Bhiksha. People have to be gradually cultivated. Now you have to chant one round. What do you think will happen if you start a preaching center and you put a law? Anyone who is qualified to worship here must be chanting Siseran every day. You cannot chant Siseran, go. What do you think? How many people? How many members are going to have? Many people will leave you. Even look at those who have taken initiation. Many are not chanting Siseran. They have taken initiation, promised to chant Siseran, but many are not chanting Siseran. So how will it be if you are telling just a person, and somebody just approach you and say, my friend, this movement, this Harakesha movement, it will chant Siseran right from now. You agree? If you don't, go. Then you don't have anybody. You won't have anybody in your center. But if you start to cultivate people, okay, can you chant? How many can you chant? Can you chant 2 rounds after every? Okay, you continue. You can chant 5. Say, okay, you continue. So gradually, people will be elevating like that until they get to 16. You get more people. And you make it more religious. For Krishna took long time. He took his time to start explaining all these systems. Although he knows that, as Prabhupada said, but as far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, it is a direct method that is stressed. Yes. Take directly 16 rounds minimum and for the greater principle. You agree? Oh, Prabhu, go. Don't stay here. Go until when you're able to chant the chain and then you come. I would accept you. How many people will come? Only few people will come. So we have to start gradually. All right?
Yes, thank you, Guru Maharaj. Referring to the verse, Guru Maharaj, from verse 11, we see it is mentioned, if you are unable to work in this consciousness, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. So the verse is ending with, like, you have to renounce the fruit of your work. Then in text 12, it ends, if you cannot take to this practice, if you cannot take to the practice of renouncing the fruits of your work, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. And then finally, it again came to the point of meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of the work, fruits of action. So the verse is starting with, if you cannot take to the practice of renouncing work, and then it is ending again with renouncing the fruits of work. This sounds a bit like confusing.
No, Krishna is, if you listen to the beginning, we were saying, look at the Papa said, as mentioned in the previous verses, there are 2 kinds of devotional service. A way of regulating principle. That is what Krishna is referring to. In text 10 and 11,
Yes.
So, yeah, 10 and 11, Krishna is referring to. In this, this is a summary. This is a summary of the other previous verses. This is a summary. Krishna is summarizing, and it's ending. But by such renunciation, one can attain peace of mind. He's summarizing that. It is not the ultimate. The ultimate you already explained in text 8.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Gumharaj. We don't have question from this side, Gumharaj. So we can take other devotees' question now.
All right.
Bhakta 𝐤𝐬𝐬𝐫 Prabhu has a question, Maharaj.
Okay.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. Okay. So, Maharaj, I would like to know if before one becomes initiated, you have to follow the 4 regulative principles and you'll be chanting your 16 rounds. So, if a devotee is already doing this, then what is the work of the spiritual master now? Please, I hope you understand my question. Yeah. So, because he's already chanting the 16 rounds, he's following the regulative principles. So, what else does the guru does in the life of that devotee? That's my question, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Your question is very good.
Because I learned before, then when Srila Prabhupada started his movement back in the US, that's not like later before he mentioned the regulative principles and the system runs to them. That's what I'm aware of. Is that the case also? So if today you have to regulative
Dr. Omega is connection is low. So
In the meantime, Sukadev Prabhu can ask his question till we wait for Bhakta Omega Prabhu.
Wait for him or to continue? You don't know when he's going to, his network is going to be improved. The question is, he can get it after the lecture. You can give the answer. You can give the answer. He will get it later on. Okay, he's back.
He connected.
All right. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Anyway, your question is very good. Your question is very good.
Okay.
What is the use of a special master? Because we are the one chanting Sira, we are the one keeping the regulative principles. So what is the role of a special master here? What is he doing? He's not the one chanting for us. He's not the one reading for us. He's not the one who is taking prasadam for us. We doing everything ourselves. So where does the special master fit in here? What is his role? We as Vaishnavas, as a Vaishnava, As Vaishnavas, we always begin our activities in auspicious way. It's a Mangala Charana, Manga, auspicious. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanam Jana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jana Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sthapitam Jana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Vedati Swapadantikam. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the touch of knowledge. The spiritual master opened my darkened eyes. What? The touch of knowledge. That is the role of the spiritual master. For us to read and understand, it comes through his mercy. For us to chant the holy name to the professional stage, it comes through the spiritual master. So the Gsheghara Maharaj mentioned many times, His Holiness Gsheghara Maharaj, he mentioned, for Nama Parad, Nama Bas, we don't need a spiritual master. For Prem Nam, Bhavanam, and Shuddhanam, Bhavanam, Prem Nam, we cannot get that on our own. We need a spiritual master. One who has it, only he can give it to us. So our success in Christian consciousness depends on the costlessness of the spiritual master. So the spiritual master is dominant in our life in Christian consciousness. He dominates. The influence of the spiritual master is on the disciple. He influences the disciple by his energy to be able to practice. This we saw with Narada Muni. The Bhakti-Vedanta influenced his life. We saw his own life towards his own disciples. He influenced the life of Vyasadeva. He influenced the life of Dhira Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. He influenced them. He influenced them spiritually. We saw the same thing with other acharyas, like Prabhupada. He influenced his disciples to be able to take to Krishna consciousness something they did not know, something we did not know. We don't know it. So Prabhupada made it known to us. How? His influence, his own spiritual influence on us. And then he mentioned that after initiation, disciples will have a change. They should experience a change in life. If one is serious, you'll see the change, you see the difference. Without the influence of the spiritual master in our life, we cannot become successful in Christian consciousness. We cannot. That is the reason why we have to be loyal to the spiritual master and follow the instruction. By following the instruction of the spiritual master obediently, that strength will be transferred to us. And Prabhupada mentioned it before. The secret of advancement in Christian consciousness is to please the spiritual master with a menial service, without false prestige. Otherwise, we don't make advancement in Christian consciousness. Why Krishna would recommend that we should approach the spiritual master if he has no influence on us? If he has no life, if he has no hands in our life, why would Krishna recommend spiritual master for us? He was talking to Arjuna directly, and he told Arjuna, go and approach the spiritual master. Because our success is in the hands of the spiritual master. Without that success, we will not make it. We will not make it in Krishna consciousness. The Prabhupada said, as for acceptance of the spiritual master, That is essential. Because without the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, one cannot progress in the spiritual science. Did you hear? Without the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, one cannot progress in the spiritual science. One should approach the spiritual master with all humility and offer him all services so that he will be pleased to bestow his blessings upon the disciple. Because a bona fide spiritual master is a representative of Krishna. If he bestows any blessings upon his disciple, that will make the disciple immediately advanced without the disciples following the regulatory principles. Or the regulatory principle will be easier for one who has served the spiritual master without reservation. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah, yes, Maharaj. I'm okay. But so then I would like to okay.
The Mangala channel decided. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? What does that mean? Without the shelter, we cannot progress. Shelter means it's covering us up, giving us protection from all directions, from Maya, from everything, and giving us strength to continue to push, to move on until we attain success in Krishna consciousness. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj. But I would like to know now, why is it that if the spiritual master have an influence in the life of the disciple, but after practicing for so long, one day the disciple may just get up and leave devotional service just like that? If still the spiritual master has an influence of such a devotee, and he has been practicing devotional service for so long, but all of a sudden, something small, then all of a sudden such a person quit devotional service. What could be the cause? Is it on the part of
it is not out of sudden. Don't say out of sudden. There's no accident in Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
There's no accident. Why this happened? No, that does not exist in Krishna consciousness. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
Before you see someone falls today or give up Krishna, the person has already fallen years back. It is just that today it is manifesting. Today it becomes obvious, but the person has fallen long time. Today is an obvious sin that everybody can see, but before then he has already fallen long time back. So, what happened? What? That doesn't exist in Christian. It's only fools who will lament. Those who are fallen, those who are fallen, those who will fall, they have already fallen. They have already long time. It's just manifesting today. Because today is in the obvious way. Obvious day.
Okay. Okay.
So it doesn't happen that someone have been practicing Krishna consciousness for 100 years and fall down. That means that we are misbehaving all along.
Okay.
Yes. And
okay.
Obvious, the Christian will say, "Oh, my friend, you have to go to where you belong." And my Guru Dev explained about the time when I said, "Nobody falls down." So nobody falls down. He said that we are being placed where we belong, not that we fall. It means we have been falling all along, but we have been hiding. All opportunity has been given to us, but we don't make use of it.
Okay.
The Christian will take it. The spiritual master will take it. Okay, say you don't need it. I'll take my thing back. Bye. So he left the movement.
Okay.
We should
Maharaj.
practice very seriously. We should practice very sincerely. We should practice nicely. Then this will not come. Even if we are weak, we'll be helped, we'll be protected, we'll be guided. But if we are pretending to be strong and misbehave, Krishna will show us that we are not strong as we think we are.
Okay. Okay. Right. Yeah. Thank you very much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
It's our pleasure. This is nice. Thank you. Oh, yes. Next.
Hare Krishna Gurudev, please accept my humble greetings. Thank you very much for the wonderful class, Gurudev. I was relishing it all through. The class was for me, I believe. Guru Maharaj, I have two questions, if you don't mind, and I hope you have a little time. My first question is in regards to in the comment where Krishna was saying that if you are not able to do devotional service, then use your money to serve Krishna. Now, here, does it not, if this particular context here of if you're not able to truly do devotional service as it is, then use money in service of the Lord. Now, growing up, seeing so many people, a lot of people do a lot of donations to Krishna, and when you ask them to even chant a little rounds, they're like, no, I'm already giving money to Krishna, so that itself it covers me. Now, this particular clause that Krishna said, does it not make some people take advantage of this, and in terms of for them to become lazy, to truly surrender unto Krishna? And another point that makes them lazy to truly surrender to Krishna, and they use this as an opportunity to just, okay, I can do whatever I want to do, but I just have to just give money to Krishna or give some donation to the temple, and that itself is going to serve as a shield, is going to serve as a punya for me. And also, some of them even feel that, okay, if I do giving money to the Lord or giving money to the temple or to the service of the Lord, I will also be able to attain the same destination as a person that is not giving money but is just fully dedicated to the Lord. This is my first question, Gurudev.
There are many statements in the scripture, which this is just one. There are many. Krishna also in chapter 9, he is also telling us that one who is following this path, he says he should be accepted as a sadhu. So one can say, yeah, this is me. You see? See? I'm just doing exactly what Krishna wanted me. This is me. People were having a lot of they were committing all kinds of crimes, but killing so many animals. But I said, no, yesterday we recommended in the scripture. This is the scripture. Yesterday said, I'm following what in the scripture. This is, I'm not acting outside. See? So one will say, oh, why yesterday we encourage people to commit sin? It is not an encouragement. It is actually, it is not an encouragement to do something wrong. It is an encouragement for us to understand that God is merciful. Krishna is merciful. Krishna is very kind. That despite our weakness, our deviation, our rascaldom, our foolishness, Krishna still have interest by giving a process for us to gradually get purified and come back to Him eventually. The problem is with us. The problem is not with Krishna or with Krishna's pure devotees. That we don't like to take the main reason why such statements are made. We don't want to go for that. That is our misfortune. Krishna will not encourage us to do sinful activities. He encourages us to do sinless activities. In that way, looking at our situation and see how degraded we are, he devised many ways to help us. That was the intention of yesterday. But conditions us as we are. We will take undue advantage of every situation to continue with our deviation. So it is, the blame is not with Krishna. The blame is with our unfortunate situation. We don't like to do what is right, and we can use the scripture to back that. But it is we who suffer, not Krishna. The Krishna saw that we are so low, we are so degraded, we can't do anything on a higher level. So he gave us a gradual system. Okay, you take this process. Because if you follow this process, this is what Krishna is describing. If you follow this process, follow this, eventually you come to me. You say, okay, yeah, thank you very much, Krishna, thank you. I have a place to belong now. I will just get stuck there. It's misfortune. It's a misfortune. It's not the intention of Krishna or his representative or the scripture. It is our own misunderstanding. So someone is thinking that I have donated money to the temple now, so I'm going to go to the same destination where people are not donating. They are not lazy. What do they do? They're just lazy. They depend on me. My money I'm donating. You know how much I'm giving lump sum amount to the temple. So I'm maintaining this temple. Without me, where would they eat their burger? They buy it because of me. So I'm going to go to Vaikuntha and they are going to go to heaven. That's a mistake. That's a mistake. They've been cheated. Here, Krishna did not say that. Krishna has given a very clear goal. Just fix your mind upon me and with intelligence, render me devotional service. With intelligence. I didn't say, oh, Krishna, my mind is so restless, so difficult. I cannot do this. Therefore, bhakti is not possible for me. Say, Krishna, no, okay. You cannot do, then do meditation for me. Cultivate knowledge for me. Give some charity. Do some good thing. Don't do something. Give some religious thing. Don't do it. Even planting tree. Do something. At least you must do something. And that will gradually accumulate that you have the mercy to come to pure devotional service eventually. That's the intention of Krishna. Not that he's encouraging us to remain sinful. Krishna will not do that. The scripture will not do that. That is why there is a need for a spiritual master to help us understand this. So the spiritual master has prominence in our life. Without that prominence in our life, you cannot make advancement. We can study the scripture, but we will never understand anything. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to tell Devanand Pandit. Devanand Pandit is a big scholar in Navadip. To be a scholar in Navadip, it's not an easy thing. It is center of education, center of learning. If you had Pandit in Navadip, hey, you are all and all. Devanand Pandit was a scholar. He was a big scholar. Right from birth, he never had any interest in any material thing. Never. He's fixed in Bhagavatam. He speaks Bhagavatam, and people worship him because of that. No desire for material things, which we are aspiring for, and we preach as a but he has no interest in devotional service. There is no interest. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there with him in the same place, but he never get attracted to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what is the use of Bhagavatam he was touching? He was speaking. What was the use? And one day, Srivas Pandit went to attend the lecture. He was speaking, and Srivas fainted. Srivas Pandit, he fainted on hearing Krishna Katha. He fainted. He, the speaker, never get fainted because he's not a devotee. But Srivas Pandit fainted, unconscious. And because all of them are external devotees, they just mechanically recite the scripture. They don't know the value of Bhagavatam. They don't know devotional service. They don't know Krishna. They misunderstood Srivas. And the student or Devanand Pandit said, oh, this person is disturbing our hearing. It's just a disturbance. Throw him away from here. And they took Srivas and dropped him outside. And Devanand Pandit didn't say anything. Sister Mahaprabhu was extremely angry. He was so angry that every day he was looking for, when would I deal with this rascal? When will I deal, until one day he find a chance to meet him? He said, you rascal, what are you talking? You know what is Bhagavatam? Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. You cannot speak Bhagavatam and not to be a devotee of Krishna. This is nonsense. He chastised him seriously. And to go and study Bhagavatam under a devotee. What are a devotee? Who give you Bhagavatam? You are speaking nonsensically. You don't know anything. You are a fool. Stop this cheating. Go and meet a devotee. A devotee will discipline you, free you from all the contaminations. Then he will give you Bhagavatam. That's Christian consciousness. It must come from a devotee. The Guru has influence in our life. Without that, we cannot make advancement. The Christian consciousness is a dream. Everything becomes very clear only when we have a Guru who can explain everything. What is blessing, what is mercy. That which is difficult becomes easily understood. All right.
Yes, beloved Gurudev. If you don't mind, my second question. In the course of the lecture, Guru Maharaj, you spoke about Arjuna being very highly advanced devotee because of what Krishna was telling him. But now, contrast to this, or conversely to this, we also see Krishna also still giving instruction to Uddhava. In as much as Krishna also gave instruction to Arjuna, he also gave instruction to Uddhava. But the level of instruction he gave to Uddhava is totally different from the level of instruction he's given to Arjuna. Is it that, and here we say that Arjuna is a very pure devotee, but the level of instruction that the Lord gave to each and every one of them is different? Is it that Arjuna's level of devotion is not as high as the level of Uddhava's devotion?
Devotees are different categories, not just one category. When in pure devotees, there are different categories. Not one. You see, Arjuna is put on a level of conditioned soul, so Krishna can speak about Gita. He's not a conditioned soul, but Krishna placed him there so he can use him to teach us about Gita. So Krishna will give instruction suitable for what we need to know. But on the personal dealing with Krishna, with Arjuna, Krishna will speak different things because that level is different. When they're doing drama, is different. When they're not doing drama, you are different. So what Krishna spoke to Uddhava is in a different category. He's in a different mood. So we're different from Arjuna. He's in a different mood. All right.
Yes, beloved Gurudev. Thank you very much, beloved Gurudev. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much.
We don't have any more questions, Maharaj, and I think we can end here. We thank you, Gurudev, for this wonderful lecture and look forward for your association next week. Thank you for your precious time, Gurudev. We also thank all the devotees who joined YouTube and Zoom today for the lecture. Yes, so
Bhakti Dhira Damodara Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jai.
Jai.